Chapter 55, Chapter 18. Inside the inn room, Lilith and Bareth were currently having a serious conversation. Bareth looked both surprised and happy when he heard what Lilith said. "What? Is that true, lady?" Bareth looked very excited, asking Lilith. "Of course. We will carry out this plan once we are accepted into the academy." Lilith nodded slightly, then she opened the manual in her hand. "So how can we finish out the humans in the academy without us having to intervene?" Bareth was curious about the plan Lilith had said. He could only stand to mingle with humans for long, even though he had only been there less than a day. But his bride didn't allow him to be in one place with a lowly race. That's why he wanted to finish his mission as soon as possible. So here's the plan. Lilith stared to explain her plan in details to Bareth. They didn't know that in the barrier they created in that room, there was a hole that size of a needle. From the hall, someone was listening to what they were planning. Zeal, who was sleeping on the bed, opened his eyes from the start. He had always monitored the movement of Lilith and Bareth. He also knew that the room was right next to his. Then Zeal felt that the room was suddenly covered by a barrier. He then punched a hole in the barrier, the size of a pinhole, and started listening to what they were talking about. There he found out all the plans that Bareth and Lilith will carry out. Troublesome. Zeal sighed and mumbled quietly, without anyone hearing. He looked at Clara and Beatrix, who were chatting on the beds. They had been chatting ever since they entered his room. "Okay, I'll go back to Academy. Clara, it's about getting dark, and I have to prepare everything for the Academy entrance exam tomorrow morning." Beatrix got up from the bed and stroked Clara's head. "You want to go already?" Clara held Beatrix's hand, as if it reluctant to let her go. "What are you afraid of? Isn't there already someone taking care of you here?" Beatrix smiled and glanced at Ken, who was laying on his bed. "Auntie, what are you saying? What if Ken hears it?" Clara became restless, and her face turned red after hearing what Beatrix said. "So what if he heard about it? Didn't you hear from your father that he was here as well as your guardian?" Beatrix then flanked Clara's forehead and prepared to leave her room. "But Auntie," Clara still feels embarrassed if she has to be left alone with Zeal in the room. But Beatrix cut her off before Clara could continue what she wanted to say. "You will take care of Clara, won't you?" Beatrix looked at Zeal, who seemed to be sleepy. "I take care of it, because it's my job," Zeal said flatly. "What?" Clara was shocked because she thought that Zeal had been sleeping all this time. If he is awake from the start, it means he heard everything Clara and Beatrix are talking about. "Then I'll go first. Bye-bye, Clara." Beatrix quietly left the room. An awkward atmosphere enveloped the room, to be precise, only for Clara, not for Zeal. Because it's the first time she is in the room alone with Zeal. Under normal circumstances, she doesn't know what she wants to talk about. "Lady, if you feel uncomfortable with me being here, I will try to find another room or inn." Zeal spoke, breaking the silence in the room. "No, it's not that I feel uncomfortable with you. It's just that I'm a little embarrassed that I don't have anything to say in a situation like this." Clara immediately covered herself with a blanket, her voice slightly muffled as she spoke quietly. I was blocked by the blankets. Her ears, which were not covered by the blankets, looked red. Then you better go to bed early, so tomorrow you will be fresher and more focused on taking the exam. Zeal didn't want Clara to keep pushing herself into the conversation. At this rate, they won't be able to sleep even until midnight. Well, Clara turned around and covered her whole body with a blanket. From the tone of her voice, she was a little disappointed and reluctant to sleep early. There was a silence for a moment, but only for a moment. Zeal, are you asleep? Are you asleep? Clara asked from under her blankets, but no answer came for Zeal. You seem to have fallen asleep even though I still want to chat with you, but somehow I don't know what to say when I'm in a situation like this. Clara continued to say even though Zeal is asleep. Let's try it together tomorrow. We have come here and I don't want to fail and just go back home. I don't know if with my mediocre abilities I can become a great mage. And I was thinking, if I study in the academy, I will be able to achieve that. That's why I don't want to fail. Clara's voice sounded a little shaky at the end of her sentence. Therefore I will try my best to pass with the best score in the 3 exams. Tomorrow Clara continued her one-way conversation. Ugh, I'm already sleepy. Good night, Ken. Clara then closed her eyes and drifted off to sleep. Good evening, my lady. Not long after Clara fell asleep, Ken's soft reply was heard in the room. Today is the day the academic exam is held. Ken has been up since early in the morning. He had already showered and prepared himself to go to the academy. With all the hands, Clara is still sleeping soundly in her bed. Lady, it's already morning. You need to get up soon. Zeal opened the blanket that covered Clara's face. 5 minutes more, Ken. I'm still sleepy. Clara sat half asleep. You'll be late for the exam if you keep sleeping. Or do you want to fail to become an academy student? After Zeal said that, Clara immediately got up from her bed. No, I will pass the exam and enter as a student an academy. Clara subconsciously screamed after she woke up, realizing that he suddenly showed in front of Zeal. He went back into the blanket. Okay, lady, you get ready first. The warm water is ready. I'll wait for you outside for breakfast. And please, tidy up your nightgown. Zeal quickly got out of the room. Clara, who heard what Zeal said, looked at her nightgown, which was now slightly open. Kia? Clara immediately shouted not long after Zeal came out of the room. Pamintia Grand Academy, with 7 skyscrapers, towers, looks very majestic and amazing. Currently, thousands of people gathered there, from royal families, nobles, merchants, to commoners. They will examine to become official students of the academy. Currently, Zeal and Clara, who will also be taking part of the exam, are standing in front of the silver tower. Lady, I can only take you here. Zeal had arrived at the academy since morning, but unexpectedly the enthusiasm of the other prospective students was also very high. Those who thought that when they got there, the academy was already crowded. with prospective students who will take the exam. Thank you, Ken. Good luck with the exam. She talks like usual, but Clara's face was strained. "Milady, please accept this." Zeal took out a leaf-shaped hairpin from his pocket. "Oh, what's this, Ken?" Clara was surprised and confused to see Zeal suddenly gave her a gift. "It's a magic tool that can reduce your tensions. This is a gift from me. I'm sure you can pass this test, so you should be more calm and confident." Zeal gave the hairpin to her. Clara was initially shocked, but still received the hairpin from Zeal. The hairpin that Zeal gave was an artifact from the same rank he gave to Princess Aisha. It's just that the functions is slightly changed. The first is to drastically increase the amount of mana the wearer has and make it easier to control. The second one is the same barrier as Princess Aisha's, but Zeal changed it, the shape, and the third one will be achieved when the time comes. But Ken, is it okay for me to accept this kind of valuable item? Although Clara is happy that Zeal gave her a present, when she found out that a valuable gift, she hesitated to accept it. "Of course, so please accept this. This thing might help your exam." Zeal gave the item as well as a precaution for future problems, because he won't be able to always be by her side to look after her. Will I get accepted in the academy? "Okay, but can you put it in my hair?" Clara squeezed her voice just for saying that. Of course." Zeal gave a small nod at her request. Then he took the hairpin from Clara's hand and put it in her hair. With a leaf hairpin in her hair, Clara looked much more beautiful and cute. The hair clip fits her perfectly. "Thank you, Ken." Clara said it shyly. Her face turned red and she just lowered her head, not daring to look at Zeal's face directly. "You're welcome, my lady. Then I'll go to my exam and say it first." Zeal immediately go to the Red Tower and left Clara, who was still lowered her head in shame. After walking for a while, Zeal arrived in front of the Red Tower. He immediately entered the tower because the exam time was about to start. After entering the tower, Zeal looked for a room to use for the exam. He was able to find the room immediately because he scanned the tower and looked for the room with the most people. Zeal entered the room and there were already many prospective students sitting waiting for the examiner to come. He looked for an empty seat at the very back and the least crowded of people. Time keeps running, more and more prospective students came, and one by one the empty seats began to fill up. Zeal was looked at the podium there. Suddenly 2 people wearing black and gold combined clothes appeared out of thin air. 1 male and 1 female. The man has short blue hair, wears glasses on his blue eyes, and the woman has long green hair and has emerald-colored eyes. The most striking thing, apart from the woman's beauty, was the shape of her pointed ears. She is an elf. My name is Christoph Closio, and the partner next to me is Kalia Ventatia. Will oversee your exams. Christoph introduces himself to the prospective students. He looks like a sociable person, while Kalia just nodded slightly without saying anything. I'll say it straight away. You have to get a minimum score of 60 to pass this exam. Christoph then snapped his fingers, and test papers appeared in front of each prospective student. "You only have 2 hours exams begin." Christoph screamed out throughout the room, but it's a sign that the exam has started.